I'm joined again by Linda Smith, our abundance coach, and we're talking about finance. Over the last 4 weeks, we've looked at quite a few things, from the perfect mindset to looking at your budget blueprint to looking at having cash versus your card, reducing debt, and today we're going to look at the one thing that most of us want, and most of us are wanting to know how to do this. Well, we're going to share that with you, so do make sure you have your pen and paper handy to take down the following lesson here with Linda. Linda, thank you so much for being with us.
Great. Once again, lovely to be here.
Okay, so today is the very exciting one. It's how to increase our income. Tell us how we're going to make more money or make our money double up.
It's almost like the $1 million question. And yes, most people would answer yes if you said who would like to increase your income. And so, there's many ways and there's many approaches to do it. And I'm sure there's many conversations that people could have to answer that question. But I'm going to share something that I believe is very powerful and at the same time very simple to apply in your life. And what's really interesting, if any of us look back over the years, you probably will notice that most of us are earning more now than we were earning years ago. And look, there could be some that are earning less. But generally, we're earning a bit more and we're moving on and our responsibilities grow. And at the same time, people might be finding that but they're not actually fulfilling their savings goals. They're not feeling that they're not manifesting what they'd like to be earning. So, and pulling in the threads of our conversations, our lessons earlier in the series, where we looked at, starts with acceptance, and then it's about having that financial blueprint, and then of course having the discipline of using the cash and knowing where your money goes. So today's lesson, we're going to actually pull up the lesson we did in our second lesson about your financial blueprint. And one of the key actions to be taking with regards to increasing your income is very simply about having to ask. It's about asking. And many of us have heard this over the years, you need to ask for what you want. And very often asking can seem like such an easy thing to do, and yet people are not necessarily receiving what they wish. And the question might be, well, why is that? So the ask and the request has to be very powerful, but it has to be very strong and it has to be very believable. Well, actually, it has to be 100% believable for you. It cannot be just a vague wish or a want or desire. This request has to be very, very clear. And so this is where we go back to creating the ideal spending plan that we chatted about on one of our earlier sessions, and having absolute clarity with your ideal spending plan. If you have already done that exercise, you might want to revisit it. And it's almost like when you're in a restaurant and you looking through the menu and you select something from the menu. You're hardly going to expect the waitress to guess what you want. You're going to make a powerful and very clear request, and it's commonly known as an order. And once your order is placed, most likely your order will be presented to you and you will enjoy your meal. So there's a parallel here with your income. It's about determining how much you need. It's about knowing what you need and making sure that your ideal spending plan includes all the variables, because so often there's things that people leave out of their sort of budgeting. They might think of the obvious, like food and entertainment. But then what about membership fees? What about gifts? What about children's parties? What about pocket money? The list is pretty extensive. So by capturing all of this on your ideal spending plan, as we covered in our earlier lesson, you now have got your financial blueprint. The next step, as we touched on briefly last time, was you will now look at your income, and it is whatever it is right now, and you'll look at the ideal spending plan, and there's going to be a gap. Now, for very many people, when they're doing this exercise, it's just as well that they're sitting down, because sometimes that gap can be quite overwhelming that they can just feel like giving up before they have even begun. Okay, so if you feel like that, don't stress. It's completely normal. It's about now breaking the gap, so to speak. So you've identified the gap, you've identified the specific amount. It's now about breaking that up into bite-sized and achievable goals and intentions. And as many of you may have heard the phrase, the power of intention. So the power of intention is a pretty powerful force. So you want to be very clear about what it is you're asking for. So with the ideal blueprint as a basis point and the clarity of a goal in mind, together with the power of intention, you can move ahead and manifest the goals that you have. And the way that I suggest you do this is to identify or to select a portion of that goal. You're not going to take the whole 100% goal on right away. Break it down into something or an amount that seems manageable and certainly believable to you, because you are the driving force behind the increasing of your income. So if you believe that you can achieve X in a period of a week or a month, well, then you're well on your way. And if you don't believe that you can do it, well, then you're going to be right about that too.
Okay, so just want to stop you there for a minute. We spoke about the budget blueprint, and you said you're drawing that in. So I need to take my budget blueprint, look at what it is that I want to earn and what my spending plan would look like in the possible near future, and then look at what I'm earning now and what I want to earn.
That's correct. So you're now identifying what you'd ideally, in an ideal world, like to earn. So in just doing this exercise, what's amazing is that the creativity that becomes apparent in that once you've identified a goal or an intention for a certain period of time, like say the next month, it allows your mind to get focused. It allows you to identify very specific actions that need to be taken, because you're not going to just sit on your sofa and wait for this to arrive. There is action to take. And that action, again, needs to be written down, and even to take it to the next level, put it into your diary to make sure that you take the action that you need to take. And out of those actions, the results potentially are going to come in. And either way, whether you fulfill on your intention 100%, or whether you fulfill on your intention to say 75% of the intention, or if you even go beyond your intention, the result of your intention that you've set is going to be a direct reflection of the degree to which that you believed and trusted that this could happen and took the appropriate action. So it becomes, again, a very personal journey to recognize and to acknowledge the actions you're taking that lead to the results that you want to achieve in your life or not. And either way, there's always a lesson. So your listeners will be able to set their intentions, and after that period of time is complete, whatever the result, it's very important to get themselves clear about the cause or the reason or the source of the results that they achieved. And whether it's a great result that they're happy with, which they created, or not. As I say, there's always a learning opportunity here. And this becomes then literally a lifestyle. It's not a once-off exercise. As you complete month one, you're then taking on month two. And slowly and steadily building what you are creating and what you're bringing in the form of income. And then because you've now got your blueprint in place, as the income comes in, you've then also got a very clear pathway through which your money must run to fulfill on your goals, which would be savings, etc., etc.
Okay, so for me, what I get really is that writing it down is the key here. Making it the reality comes through writing it down and seeing in front of you, what do I have and what is it that I want? And then becoming creative and finding that creative ideas and stuff coming forward and seeing how we can actually make that a reality.
That's exactly it. So as one is asking for certain results, and it might be that you're looking for a new client, it might be a new contract, it might be even a whole new career you're looking for. It can be any number of things. But if you set the intention and you believe in the intention and you take the appropriate actions, you're well on your way to achieving it. And the beauty of this is, as you achieve those goals and intentions, it in and of itself inspires you to continue building. And it's a wonderful result.
Fantastic. So increasing your income is possible by writing it down and making sure you know where you're at right now and you know where you're going to. And I think for me, that in itself is clarity, because it's always if you know where you are, then you can find a way forward. And knowing where you're going to, of course, being very important. If you know what it is that you want, how you want to do it, and that budget blueprint really is phenomenally very, very important. Linda, I think it was very insightful. We'll definitely make work of this. Just a last word from you, what we can do for the week following.
Yeah, so the week following, what I'd recommend is that you create for yourself at least one or maybe several very clear intentions, and that you monitor them and keep track of them during this period of time. And next time, our next lesson is going to be looking at beliefs around money and how that impacts or enhances your income. So stay tuned.
Fantastic. Linda, thank you so much. Well, I look forward in doing some more work on my finances, and I definitely making great progress here. I hope you are too. I welcome your feedback if you would like to let me know how it is going with your financial plans, and if you've been practicing all the lessons, do let us know so we can get some of that feedback. If you have any questions for Linda or you want to know more, please go to lindiary.com. Alternatively, you can pop in on my webpage, leave a comment, or have a read up on all the feedback that I've given on my lessons, as well as the lessons that Linda has done. So that is leilabenelli.com, and you can click on Talk Show. Until we deal with another lesson yet again, do stay tuned for the rest of our show here on Two Oceans Vibe Radio.